Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have a special guest, Journey, and she's gonna be playing here with her toys because she gets bored being on the floor now that she can kind of sit up. So I've started kind of putting her in her high chair when I have things to do with a few toys, and she seems to be happy with it. So she's going to be sitting here playing, probably throwing them in the floor because she's discovered that she can kind of do that. And we are going to be cooking. So today I'm going to be making broccoli and rice casserole. I have tried this a couple of different ways. The last time I tried to make it like my mom told me, and I was just like, I will just stick to the way that that I usually do it. And so I'm just gonna show you guys how I usually make this casserole. And you can use, I'm going to be using commodity cheese, but you can use, help me out here, you can use Cheese Whiz, which is what I do when I'm being extra lazy. But right now, with everything going on, there's no way I'm going to the store. I'm just gonna use what I have in my kitchen. So first things first, we're gonna do the chicken, and Nini has learned how to blow raspberries, so you are more than likely to hear that in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna take and I'm gonna wash my hands. First thing first, we always wash our hands. Okay, we need the pan and we need the tin foil. So I'm going to be using tin foil to line my pan because I'm going to be baking my chicken before I ever even put, this is going to be my first step. Chicken takes the longest, so that's what I usually do first. Now, when you're baking your chicken, I put mine on at 350, and I bake it for about 15 to 30 minutes till it's done. And then I check to see if it's done. Sometimes it's not done on the 30-minute mark. So at your 30-minute mark, I wouldn't guarantee that it's done. I would cut open my thickest chicken in the thickest part of that chicken and check to see if that's done. And if it is, then the rest of your chicken is done. Okay? All right, Nini, don't be dropping nothing. Okay? She's so cute. Okay. So I am going to use a little bit of salt and pepper and a dash of garlic. I say a dash, but I'm probably going to be using more. Okay, garlic goes good in everything. Garlic is also like one of those things that are good for you and your immune system, especially fresh garlic, which I actually have fresh garlic, but we're not going to be using fresh garlic in this recipe. Now I am using tongs. You can use your hands, but I'm using tongs because I don't want to be messing with chicken and messing with Nene, because I'm pretty sure that I will have to mess with her. And if I do, I want to be able to wash my hands fairly quickly and not have to wash them a bunch of times before I can touch her. So that's what we're doing. So I have, usually there's about 4 in this bag, but there's 5 in this bag this time. And I probably won't need all of this chicken, but let's see, I'm actually going to put, I'm going to be pouring out the juices into the sink and discarding of the bag into my trash. And then I am going to be washing my hands because chicken is very gross. It's probably one of the grossest meats in my opinion. It's gross. Like, I don't like it. But and it's very easily to spread the germs from the chicken to other surfaces if you don't immediately wash your hands when you're done handling it. So I recommend just wash your hands immediately. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of salt, and I'm just going to kind of, sticking to my hands because I just washed them. So salt, and I'm going to put those in there because I don't need them. I'm going to do some pepper. These are pretty universal spices for any, like, I use salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder on a lot of things that I cook. And so this is actually garlic and wine seasoning, which I've been kind of sparingly with it because I'm not trying to get out of the house right now. I'm not really paranoid, but I am being cautious, you guys. And I recommend that to everyone. Like, we only go to the store if we absolutely have to. We take precautions. We use gloves and things like that. And we don't keep the bags that come from the store. We actually sanitize everything before it comes in the house. I know this sounds crazy, but we have a little baby to worry about. And I'm not trying to bring anything into the house that can hurt her in any shape or form. And so, you know, it's better to be cautious than to be sorry about it later. So I'm actually adding a little bit of onion powder because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be using all this chicken. gonna preheat my oven to 350. I usually have it already preheated, but this time I don't. I'm gonna preheat my oven, and then I'm gonna let it cook. I'm gonna say 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna check it. When it gets done cooking, I will tell you how long it took me to cook my chicken, but honestly, it can vary. It can vary depending on how much you have on your pan, how thick the slices are. But like I said, I usually check it anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, so I have already cooked my chicken. My husband called. I just put it in the oven for 30 minutes because his lunches last 30 minutes anyway. But he called me on his lunch like he always does. And so this video may or may not be a little bit awkward in the middle here. But I am going to go ahead and start on my cheese. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a block of this cheese. I'm going to shred it, which I need a shredder. And I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. I do things differently. But we're going to go ahead and shred this cheese really quick because I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. So when we come back, I will have my shredded cheese. Okay, so we have our shredded cheese here. And we have our chicken done. I'm gonna go ahead and start the rice. And yeah, so I'm gonna start the rice. I'm gonna get the broccoli ready. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna cut the chicken. And while the rice is boiling, and then we're gonna go back through and mix it all together, and we'll have broccoli cheese rice. Okay, so I combined 2 cups of water and 1 cup of rice, and I couldn't find my pan that I wanted, so I'm just using this pan. It'll be all right. And I'm going to boil this and let it cook. I'm going to grab my broccoli. Actually, I'm not going to grab my broccoli yet because that's like the last thing I want to put in this, because we're going to put it in this little baby pan and we're going to cook it. So I guess what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and dice my chicken. And just so I don't have to reposition my camera, I'm going to dice it right here on my stove. So I'm going to move this and bring my cutting board. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut where I'd already cut. This isn't working right. I can't cut it here, so we're gonna switch positions. chicken up. And I need a better knife, so I'm just gonna use this knife. Okay, so my rice is looking pretty close to being done. And I don't think I'm gonna need any more than 2 chicken breasts. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my broccoli, and this is chopped broccoli that I have here. Usually I use the broccoli florets, but I'm gonna use this today. You can use raw broccoli as well. I think that we are good to go. So I'm going to turn my oven off. I'm going to snag a piece of chicken. What's the point in cooking if you can't snag a bite, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my pan, and then I'm going to take my, that chicken is good. I'm going to take my rice and my chicken. Here, let's move the camera here. So we're just going to scooch it. Okay. So I'm going to take my rice, and I'm gonna take my chicken and dump my chicken in there. I'm gonna take some broccoli. And I'm just gonna kind of pour until it looks like enough. And I'm gonna actually just okay. I'm going to mix that mixture together. Now you probably could cook this on the stove. I've never tried it. But I'm going to cook mine in the oven. So here's how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take my mixture that I just mixed. I'm gonna preheat my oven again to 350 while I'm doing this. I'm gonna lay out a little bit of this mixture into my pan. Enough to kind of cover the bottom. Okay, and once I have my bottom covered, I'm gonna layer some cheese. So I shredded a ton of cheese because I wasn't sure how much I was gonna use. But like I said, you can just use Cheese Whiz and pop it in the oven after you stir the Cheese Whiz in there. But this is what I got, and I am not going to the stove. The Cheese Whiz method is actually the easiest way to do it. Okay. I'm gonna add some more of my mixture on top of my cheese. And basically what I want to do is cover what I got going on. And then I'm going to throw another layer of cheese on here. So basically like a chicken, rice, and broccoli lasagna. And the reason I spread it like that is to make sure that I get plenty of cheese put on it. I am gonna go ham with the cheese here. So basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pop this in the oven. And what I'm looking for is my cheese to be melted and my broccoli to be fully cooked. So it shouldn't take too long. Maybe 10 minutes, I don't know. I use a different kind of broccoli than I normally do, so I'm just gonna put mine in the oven for 10 minutes, see how that does, and see how the broccoli is. And then if it is done, then it's done. If it's not, then it's not. But basically, I don't need to really cook any of the ingredients except for the broccoli and melt the cheese. Okay, so we're gonna put this in my oven and we'll be back and we'll be back when it's done, and I will tell you how long it took. Okay, so it looks like it's done. We're gonna do a little test here. I need a fork. Kind of stir it around. So I'm just kind of stirring. And if you stir your broccoli cheese rice and you don't feel like it has enough cheese, you can always add more. Like, we are cheese fanatics, you guys, and we love lots and lots and lots of cheese. So I may, well, I don't know, that seems to be enough cheese. It's kind of pretty cheesy. And the only way to surefire test this is to taste it. The only reason I'm tasting it is because it looks yummy and I know for sure it's done. But if your broccoli is done, you can go ahead and scoop you a plate and enjoy. And I made this for dinner, so I'm just gonna eat a bite. Oh my goodness. This is the bomb.com. Nick is going to love me. And y'all are probably getting hungry over there. I wish I could give you a plate of this through the camera. I totally would. But it's not possible. So I'm gonna set this to the side, wait for Nick to get home, and I will see you guys later. Bye.